First you draw a circle, then you dot the I's. You throw Genie into the mix and presto, it's Kirby. Hello everyone, and welcome to my very first episode of Genie codes for the game Kirby's Adventure on the NES. Now this game was a childhood favorite of mine, but quite frankly, I never even bothered to find codes for it. Now all that's in the past, and here I am presenting to you my very own list. So for the next few minutes, just sit back, relax, and enjoy my very first code list for the game Kirby's Adventure on the NES. Enjoy! The first code I have is LVY-IVY. With this code enabled, the game doesn't pause when you're obtaining a power-up. The game also does not pause when it normally should during certain attacks that Kirby performs, such as Crash and Mike. Therefore, Kirby can be interrupted during any of these attacks or animations. A cool thing I discovered while using this code is that Kirby's hurtbox and position actually don't move at all during Kirby's Crash attack animation. Now with this code turned on, watch what happens when I get hit while using this power-up. Pretty neat, isn't it? It doesn't really do anything else except cause you to take damage and freeze the screen on whatever it was at the time you got hit, but it's still pretty cool to try at least once. The next code I have on this list is AEP-ZYV, and as far as I know, this is purely a graphical glitch code. While the effect is simple, it can get a little annoying to look at, and with this code turned on during some stages, you might find it a little confusing to navigate. Now also, I'm not sure if it's just me, but I do get a little creeped out seeing Kirby's sprite cut up and used as platforms and wall sprites throughout the stage. But anyway, let's move on to the next code. GK-A has multiple different effects on this game. At least 99% of the time, you will not be able to come in contact with any enemies, health, or 1-up items. I honestly don't know how I killed that enemy by sliding when I shouldn't be able to, but whatever. Your basic attacks as Kirby, such as sliding, shooting puffs of air, or stars, will also have no effect on enemies at all. You can, however, still inhale enemies and take their powers, which is really fortunate because it's your only method of killing any enemy or boss in the game with it. There is a big drawback to this code, though. Enemies that have grapple-based attacks will still be able to catch and damage Kirby, so whatever you do, do not lose that power-up or you're pretty much screwed. For this fight, I brought the worst one I could possibly have, and I've theoretically lost. So with that said, let's move on to the next code. ZOY-EPA is a weird one. The first thing you probably notice is that the code completely ruins the music and sound in this game. Other more cool things to note is that your stars and air puff attacks will delete any enemy it comes in contact with, even enemies you cannot normally destroy like the cannons or Gordos. The laser power-up also deletes enemies in the same way. Now another weird thing this code has an effect on is the fire power-up specifically. Whenever you attack someone with it, you will instantly gain the sword power-up, which you can't drop willingly or be forced out of, which is pretty similar to the fight against Meta Knight, where you have to keep your sword power up and you can't use anything else. You will, however, regain the fire ability by transitioning to another area in the game. Now, this concept for deleting enemies would be cool, however, when it deletes a boss, the game doesn't register it as dead, and typically prevents you from progressing. So this code is fun, but limited. The last code I have is OGAGAL. This code pretty much behaves exactly as one of my codes for River City Ransom. It is something you really just need to experience for yourself, as the effect isn't always quite the same each time around you use this code. Now, at certain points in the game, this code will cause it to crash consistently, so I do recommend beating the game first, or more simply, turn on a Game Genie code that already has all the levels unlocked, so you can play around with this as you wish. But this code is just so trippy. I honestly can't come up with any other way to describe it. I think out of the entire list, this code has to be my favorite. Jump around to a bunch of different levels and just see what happens. Sometimes it'll crash, but if it doesn't, then prepare yourself for quite a wild ride. Although this code has completely corrupted the background, it doesn't seem to have too much more of an effect on it, so let's proceed a little bit forward and see what else happens. Oh my god. I should have been paying attention to where the door was. Well, let's try another level out. Alright, here we go. Never mind. It was bound to happen sooner or later. Thank you very much for watching the entire video. I sure hope you enjoyed it. The move is taking a little bit longer than I expected, so for now I'll still need to continue uploading these videos, not as frequently as I'd hoped to. But just to keep you all in the loop, I've come up with another series that I'm currently developing. It's titled Game Breaking News, where I take a specific code, not necessarily one I create, and discuss it for an entire video and how I can use it to break the game with it, more so than you could with most Game Genie codes. Now, I'm not sure when the first one will air, but when it does, the first video will be about Kirby's adventure, because while I was making this video, I came across a code that allowed me to fight the endgame boss on any stage I wanted. On top of that, allows me to do other things as well, which I'll explain more during the actual video. As always, please rate this video and leave me a comment as to what you think. I sincerely do appreciate any and all feedback to help me improve my work. Shoutouts to Mike Ahern aka Solo Attack for letting me use this awesome remix of his. If you like this video and are looking forward to more game hacking in the future, then be sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching.